We're back with wines 3 and 4 from Louis Jadot. We're continuing to work our way through their value wine selection, and we have been nothing less than impressed so far. Today we shift from red to white. Let's see if the quality shifts as well. Hopefully, it's not a waste of your wine.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast dedicated to helping you discover great wines with great value for every occasion. I am Joel, and congrats again on finding the best damn wine show out there. As always, I am joined by Colin and Aaron. This is week 3 of our deep dive, I'm going to say, into the more accessible side of the Louis Jadot wine catalog. Looking back, we've had a couple of bangers. We enjoyed a really incredible Pouilly-Fuissé that I think we were not expecting to enjoy.
It was very good.
Yep.
It was very cool. Then
we
we got
thought
into...
we'd enjoy it, but I don't think we'd enjoy it that much.
Agreed. A little bit of a
It's
sleeper. Yeah. And then I think we were even further impressed the next week where we had that $20 Pinot Noir that we were all like, pretty mind blown about.
Outstanding.
Right? Yeah. I think we may have floated. Is this the best $20 Pinot Noir that we've had?
One of them.
We
You
were
said
hard pressed to come up with a
20
better
your
one.
favorite $20 wine.
I did.
You were enamored.
I was.
It's a bold statement.
It was magic in the moment. I'm gonna stand behind it, but maybe I'll do a retry on that one too and see if I still feel that way. But no, let's talk about today. Let's talk about today because this is a very cool episode, a double episode too, guys.
Double.
Are you ready for that? When's the last time we did that?
It's been a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a real long time.
It might have been the Petite Sauvage.
No, the can. I think we did more than one can wine with our friend Preston.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We tried a couple can wine. This is the first time this year we have done a double wine without a winemaker with us.
Okay.
Interesting.
So you're
fact.
saying we can get a little loosey goosey on this one.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this guy.
I'm gonna drink
As
a full
he's double
bottle.
fisting, I said,
I'm gonna drink both full bottles and then give you my idea.
okay, perfect. Wait, that's not the
Shout
rules.
out
of this
one bottle review.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, this is
If
gonna
you don't
be,
usually listen to the end, this might be one you want to stick around for.
Yeah,
It's a work
this
night.
is a good one. This is a good one. All the right ingredients are there. Let's hope it comes together. So, Colin, to help us get ready for this potentially wild adventure, let's tell everybody at home what we're drinking today, what our double feature is on this episode.
Wild adventure.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are drinking wine number 1, the Louis Jadot Mâcon-Villages. From Louis Jadot, we are in Burgundy. This is 100% Chardonnay. Both of these are actually 100% Chardonnay. Biggest difference, this one is unoaked. The vintage is 2024, ABV 12.5%. You can find this one for about $16-ish. And wine number 2 is the Louis Jadot Pouilly-Fuissé, which is also from Burgundy, actually also in the Mâcon. We can talk about that a little bit. Also 100% Chardonnay, but this one is oaked. Also 2024 vintage, 13.5% ABV. You can find this one for around $30.
Very cool.
Yeah. No, there's going to be a fun kind of side by side on this. And just to go back to it and to look at it, really the big difference here is going to be that oak versus unoaking, right? I mean, is there anything between the lines, Colin, that we should call out as far as the difference between these two, or is that kind of it?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, as far as like the wine is concerned, the big difference. But we also, I think, have to call out the quality tier difference. Like there's a clear separation here. If you look at the French quality pyramid, the Mâcon-Villages is kind of a more regional expression, where Pouilly-Fuissé is one of the villages in the Mâconnais. So, so that's another thing to think
a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Starting at the Mâcon-Villages level and then drilling down into one of the actual villages. So that's actually a really cool comparison too. Although it's not going to be a direct comparison because one is oaked and one is unoaked. So the flavor profile is going to be completely different, right? I mean, we're not even talking the same flavors there. Well, some of the same flavors, but you know, that's another important part of this comparison is where they sit in that quality pyramid.
I'm excited about this because we haven't had too many opportunities to kind of try, a wine and then like kind of the next step up from the same year, from the same producers. This is really cool. I'm excited about that. And I'm very interested to see if it's going to be worth the price swing, because one is $16, which feels like very accessible and very much like a wine price that you would grab for just like daily drinking. And then the other one is $30, which I feel like pushes into that like slightly more of like I better like this, range.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, especially aligning with like the rest of their portfolio that we've tried so far, $16 seems to be right there. $30 is kind of a stretch, so it'll be interesting to see if the value is there with that extra dollar.
Which is so funny knowing that like Louis Jadot sells, many $100, not $1,000 bottles of wine. But like in this range, like we've had like a nice Pinot Noir, and a nice Beaujolais, and they were both like $17, $18. And then there's going to be this one random $30 wine. So,
yep.
Will it show that way? Will we be that much more impressed? Let's find out, though. There's nothing stopping us from just starting to drink now, so we don't have to wonder anymore. Let's do it. Let's do a couple of first sips. And I think we all have 2 glasses here. We got them kind of side by side. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
okay.
Right.
Excellent. Very good. Let's start with the Mâcon-Villages. One word, Aaron.
Sharp.
Colin.
I'm going to say classic.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to say bright. I was in kind of the same space as you there, Aaron. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's a lot to talk about there.
Totally.
All right, now let's do the Pouilly-Fuissé. Switching it up, Colin.
I'm going to say classic.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We gotta, well, let's get into it. All right, Aaron.
I'm going to say full.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't dislike that at all. That's a good call.
I'm going to say that's what I was expecting. That's what I'm going to say. That's 5 words. That's way too many. But if you say it fast together, that's kind of like one. That's what I was expecting. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit because I feel like we were all pretty aligned on the first one. Although, I don't know, the double classic from you, because these are 2 very different Chardonnays here. So I cannot wait to hear how they are both classic to you.
Both classic in their own right, in my opinion.
Okay, fair. All right, well, let's talk about it. Let's focus first again. We'll do it the same kind of way. Let's focus first on the Mâcon-Villages, and then we'll break into the Pouilly-Fuissé. Guys, Mâcon-Villages, let's really give this thing the treatment it deserves. Let's swirl this around. I think we all are picking up on the fact that it's very, very bright. Much sharper than I think we thought. But what else you guys getting? What are you getting on the nose?
No, I mean, I think real citrus on the nose, which I think is a lot of fun for this, and maybe not necessarily something that my brain goes to right off the bat for a Chardonnay.
Sure.
You can think having, the unoaked version is kind of fun to dig into, but definitely citrus, and then a little floral. And I think maybe that goes like the brightness, just like, a little bit more off the top that just keeps it really, really light.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, great calls. I would add a little bit of green apple in there. That's definitely one thing that pops out quite a bit. And then a little bit of pear. I think there's some other green fruits in here that are shining through.
And I do think that there's still like some of that also kind of more sultry depth. Like there's like there's a honeysuckle in there. It doesn't smell like it's going to be like a Sauv Blanc, like super, super sharp in your face, acidic. Like there's a softness to it as well, but totally agree with what you guys are saying.
I think that honey goes along with what I was thinking with like the floral. I think it's like the honey and the floral and just kind of those slightly warmer scents that are muting what would be more of a cutting aroma with the citrus and the apple.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't disagree. And I think the one other flavor note that's really sticking out is like melon, like a green melon. What is that? Cantaloupe? What's the green one?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Honeydew.
Honeydew.
Yes.
So a little bit of that in there as well. It's very green fruited to me all the way through.
Lime?
No, I'm with you. All right, let's drink this thing. Okay. Nice. Aaron, I'll go back to you.
So, I mean, I think a lot of those warm aromas that you get on the nose, the one thing that I noticed right away is like the acidity just cuts right through that. So, like, where, some of those like floral and honey aromas suggested that there was going to be this maybe fuller body, gets like slashed to heck with the heavy acidity that I think leaves a lot of the citrus on the palate. So not saying that those were wrong, but I think they're kind of pushed to the back because the acidity is the thing that I'm getting right off the bat.
Yeah, I think the minerality and I think that ties into the acidity. Is definitely something that really comes forward. And then I said classic because I think like when I took a sip of this, it kind of reminded me of classic unoaked French Chardonnay, right? Like this, when it comes to unoaked French Chardonnay, this is kind of exactly what I was expecting.
I see where the theme's going to go for
right?
the next
Yeah.
one. Right? We can fast forward to Colin's sentence.
You might have figured me out. You might have figured it out. But it has all the notes, you know, the green fruit, a little bit of that citrus. I think the floral note, kind of like white wildflowers, is a good call. But I think the minerality shines through a lot more on the palate than it does the nose.
Totally agree. And I do think we still have to talk about, though, how soft just the mouthfeel is, though. Isn't it? Because it's like, I'm going to go back to it, and I agree with what you were saying, too, Aaron, about how there's a lot of acid here, and it's cutting through. And I agree with everything that you're saying, but there is still somehow a really soft experience to it. Like it's not just all edge. Like there is a real softness here.
Yeah. For me, like I'm experiencing that on my tongue. Like it's a really enjoyable almost expression across the tongue. It's like the physical expression on the tongue is really nice. Yeah. And it does kind of have like a more pillowy feel. And I agree. You would think with that acid, although you still, I mean, that sharpness is still there. Like there's no doubt, but I think
sharp.
It's very sharp. Quite. I mean, and like crazy acid. My mouth is still watering. It's almost hard to talk. It's watering so much.
Jeez, get this guy some water.
I know. Well,
hey, take another sip of wine.
Or another sip. Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead.
But you're right, Joel. That there is a nice like airiness on the tongue as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the honey flavor that you named, and like that. Those warmer, heavier kind of flavors, I think, are doing their best to balance out the acid. And I say that with no negativity attached. It's just this is an acid forward wine.
Yeah, totally agree. Acid forward, classic unoaked. Let's turn the page now and get a look at this Pouilly-Fuissé now. See if it's vastly different. All right, on the nose, Aaron. You were for the listener at home. This guy was just about to take a huge sip, and
you caught me. It's
remembered that that's not how we do it here.
Yeah,
I'm joking. You can do it however you want, brother.
Well, I mean, I think the oak right off the bat plays its role, right? Like where we got the floral and the honey and the citrus. Like the citrus is having a harder time coming through. Because I think the oak kind of balances that out or negates that. I think some of the honey and some of those warmer aromas are still there. They're easier to pull through the oak, but that real sharp citrus is the first thing to go when the oak is prevalent.
Colin?
Yeah, I mean, the oak is definitely the one thing that you notice here. I think the citrus does still shine through, but like on top of it, you get a little bit more vanilla. And, you know, that oak, there's kind of like the warmer notes almost shine through in this wine.
Yes.
A little bit more. But it smells, and I said classic, and we'll see how it tastes, but it smells like a classic French oaked Chardonnay. So
I don't disagree. And this is, you're spot on. My head, for some reason, goes straight to, when I start thinking about French Chardonnay, goes straight to the oaked. Oddly enough, I'm more of a fan of the unoaked, but for some reason it does. And that's why, too, when I smelled this one in comparison to the first one, I was like, that is like 100% what my brain was expecting here. But I think you're right. Like, write down, think, listener at home, if you've had a French oaked Chardonnay and you're thinking about what that is like, this is it. It's in this glass. Yeah. Maybe not as intense as, like there's not a ton of intensity on this wine, but it has all those flavors that you would expect. It still has all those apples, the citrus. I think there's still that undertone of floral. There's just an added layer of oak and baking spices and vanilla. Yeah. All right, let's drink it. Nice. I'm going to switch it up. Colin, you go first.
Yeah, honestly, I think this tracks pretty well from the nose to the palate. I think it has all of that oak influence, but you still get what Chardonnay I would expect from Chardonnay, which is that citrus. You get that green apple, some of that pear in there, but then the oak is definitely like the one thing you notice right off the bat. I mean, you could tell this wine has been in oak. There's no mistaking these two if like back to back. Like if you put one of them down and pick the other one up, you'd be like, oh, that's the wrong one, because the oak is so heavily influenced on this one.
Yeah, I said full for my word, and I think that word was not only appropriate but actually names the biggest difference between the two of these. When I sipped the first one, there's that cut of acidity, and you have the flavor, but the acidity really, like Colin said, it's almost like, you know, you have like a sour candy, and you're like, you start to get sucked in a little bit. This, I think, because of the oak, has muted that, and there's still like a, you know, a healthy bit of acidity, but there's this more full, balanced mouthfeel happening. The body of the wine feels a little bit fuller than than the other wine, and just because of that, the whole experience is just a little bit more balanced. So you have the oak, you have the warmer taste that we had before, you had a little bit of that honey, but a lot of those bright flavors are toned down a bit.
Agreed. The totally agree with what you both are saying. What I'm appreciating right now about this as well is I feel like that level of oak influence that we're all talking about, did they not nail it?
Oh, totally.
How much is there? Like,
Yep.
It's not overtaking the wine in any way. It is elevating it in a lot of ways and just making for a really nice, you know, complement to the grapes. But like, it's a lovely level.
Yes.
It's almost like I want to call out what isn't going on here. It's not abusing the oak.
Well, and it's not fake, right? Like, let's stop and let's name that. Once again, knowing when the producer is using flavoring or, you know, oak chips or whatever it is to get a oak, you know, parallel flavor. This is not it. Like, this is not oak adjacent. This is just 6 months aging in French oak, and this is what you get. So once again, like when we talk about buying a Chardonnay that is artificially oaked to create that flavor, they are trying to replicate this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Agreed.
The only thing I'll say is I wish there was a little more intensity here. Like everything.
It's very muted.
Yeah, it's almost like watery is the wrong term, but the flavors are they're all nice, but they're all like a 5. I wish they were turned up a little bit as far as intensity was concerned. I will say the finish is nice. You get that really nice warm kind of vanilla oak influence on the finish, but I just wish it was a little turned up.
Is it kind of like you just want something to stand out, Colin? Like, is that kind of what you're feeling, or
I don't even know if it's stand out. I think because I like what it's doing where it's at.
Yeah.
I just wish everything was turned up, right? Like it's just all the flavors are there, but they go away really quick, and then what you're left with is the oak, which is fine, but I feel you don't really get to experience the entire sip once you swallow it.
No, and I think that's actually true for both of them. I was sipping back and forth for a second, and I think both of them have this like really interesting first impression, and then they both neither of them have a really long lasting finish, and I don't think that's a massive knock on the quality of wine. I just think that is something that is prevalent in both of these Chardonnays.
You know what I'm noticing here too, because we have them side by side, so which I love. We need to do this more often. It's very cool. But one thing that I'm noticing here too is as I'm kind of tasting both, if you kind of look past that oak influence, they really are very similar, these two wines. I guess that's not totally unexpected, but like,
I mean, they're both Chardonnay.
You guys getting that too? Right. Yeah.
I mean,
but
it's
I mean,
the same one.
Technically different places.
Right.
You know, so
The
different quality levels, you know, so it could be completely different, but you're right. Like it's very, very similar. It's such a good call because if you remove the oak, I feel like you're pretty much drinking the unoaked version, right? Which is like maybe some people might say obvious.
Yeah.
I don't think it's always that like 1-to-1.
I would agree, and I think it's the reason I wanted to make sure you guys are having the same experience is because it is pretty cool to be able to kind of isolate the impact of that winemaking decision to oak for 6 months in French barrels and really be able to kind of see, hey, what does that do? And have that 1-2 comparison. So, you know, just a lot of people who are listening, I think, are trying to maybe understand the impact of some of these things that we're talking about. These two together is a really cool way to experience just that, I think.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think it's very, like, if the oak is just cutting down the acidity, if that's it, like that's a huge impact, right? And even though I kind of joked it's the same grape, like I think back to when we had Cantina Provera on, and we had did the Nebbiolo, and we did the Barbaresco, and we did the Barolo, and like that's all the same grape, but like that, those were three extremely different experiences from bottle to bottle. So yeah, like this is neat. Like this is like it's this weird similarity / incredibly different experience for each bottle.
And I think it's doing a little more. I see what you're saying, but I do want to call out. I think it's doing a little bit more than just cutting the acid. Like I think it is rounding the whole.
No, 100% agree. 100% agree.
More, right? Yeah.
For sure. No,
yeah, I mean, I meant say if it was just cutting the acid, like that would be something, but it's doing more than that.
Totally.
Yeah, no, right. I think it totally changes the wine, obviously, but like, I think if the mental exercise here is if you take all of that out, a lot of the underlying flavor notes are almost exactly the same, right? Like for me anyway, it's just you're adding the oak. The oak, of course, is going to change the structure and then add those flavor notes. But other than that, like it's very similar in experience as far as flavor notes and stuff are concerned.
For sure. Yep. Very cool. All right. Love this. We got to do side-by-sides a lot more, guys. Like it is fun. This is
every episode. Let's drink 2 wines.
Fun. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's not get crazy, but every once in a while, I think this is a great idea.
Send us 2 wines.
That's true. Yeah. What am I saying? Yeah, absolutely. From now on, we're a 2 wine podcast. Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? Let's think about this. There's a lot going on. Let's put this aside for a second. Let's learn a little bit, huh?
Let's do it.
I'm excited for this learning segment too, because again, very rare that we have 2 side by side. So I think that there's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot to learn.
Learn twice as much.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I hope so. I hope we can. But we're going to talk about something, a word not necessarily always associated with the Burgundy region. Because we are in the Mâconnais, and that word is value. And we're going to discuss whether the Mâconnais is really Burgundy's value region.
Well, yeah, because, I think we've talked about this before. Like Burgundy gets ridiculous very fast. And if you're
very fast,
a big wine fan, a big Burgundy fan, you are equating Burgundy to Marceau, to Pouilly-Montrachet, to Chachange, Montrachet. Like, how about that for some big,
that was impressive. You nailed it.
Thank you. But I mean, like that's, your brain can go there very quick. They get expensive very fast.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like once again, we're just entering the same geographic argument that we've entered in France so many times. We are in the Mâconnais, so we're still drinking Chardonnay and Burgundy, but we are just south. And because we have just gone slightly outside of the traditional area, we're paying a whole lot less money.
Exactly. And if you're picturing Burgundy running from north to south, the Mâconnais is toward the southern end, right? So it's going to be a little bit warmer than the Côte d'Or, which is famous for Pinot Noir and the super high-end Chardonnays. And, as we talked about it before, but Joel, warmer climate, what should you expect from warmer climate Chardonnay?
Sunshine, baby.
That's
We're
right,
talking
baby.
about riper grapes. We're talking about more fruit in general. All that.
Yeah, 100%. And all of that is going to translate into something that's a little bit rounder, a little bit more fruit forward, so that if someone thinks that all white Burgundy is going to be like super lean or, acidic Chardonnay, that's not necessarily what is going to happen when you travel south and the climate starts to change a little bit.
Okay, but this is something, especially over the last couple of weeks as we've been drinking these wines, that I've been trying to kind of like make sense in my head. Like today, we're drinking these 2 wines. They're still Chardonnay. They're still from Burgundy. Why are we able to get what I think we've all so far agreed is very lovely, decent wine for $20, $30 that are Burgundian wines when others are hundreds of dollars or more?
Well, a huge part of that is address, right? Places like Marceau and Pouilly-Montrachet have massive reputations, and collectors want those bottles, and there's only so much vineyard and so much land and so many bottles that come out of those places. So producers can't just make more Pouilly-Montrachet because people want it. They just don't have the land for it.
Right. And once again, we get to a place where it's more about demand than it is about the actual wine, right? So the Mâconnais doesn't have the same level of worldwide demand that you get in other regions. And so that doesn't mean you're getting a worse Chardonnay. And in fact, climate and terroir wise, like we're not that far away from some of the most famous Chardonnay on the planet, but it's not the same name on the label. So you don't pay the same premium price.
Yeah. I think these bottles actually that we're drinking tonight are a good example of that. And there's also something even just between these two that we're drinking that we should explore, right? Because both of the wines that we're drinking tonight, they're both within the Mâconnais, but two different levels. We've got that Mâcon-Villages and we've got that Pouilly-Fuissé. So even just between what we're drinking here, let's talk about what the difference is between these two wines and kind of those two levels.
Right. I mean, I like the idea of like drilling down. So Mâcon-Villages is the larger view of all the approved villages in the Mâconnais, and that's like your entry point into white Burgundy.
Yeah, and then with the other bottle, we're kind of zooming into Pouilly-Fuissé, and we're still talking about Chardonnay, but from much smaller, more specifically defined areas. And Pouilly-Fuissé is actually probably the most famous name within the greater Mâconnais.
So that's pretty cool. So we're talking about that we're drinking value wine, but when we're saying value wine, we're not talking about cheap wine. We're not talking about like bulk wine. We're talking about wine that you are getting that is still very, very legitimate, but it's happening in, regions and towns that care deeply about what they're making. So even though they don't have that same hyper elite name or title that some other regions have, it's still very, very, very serious Chardonnay. As Joel taught us a couple weeks ago, Burgundy's pumping out 200 million bottles of wine a year. So like out of all
Insane.
that, you gotta know where to look. You gotta know what part of Burgundy is going to be the best bang for your buck, and the Mâconnais seems like it.
I would agree.
Totally agree. Well, listen, we've still got two Mâconnais wines here that we get to enjoy and ultimately rate. That is the point of this show. So what do you guys think? Let's get into it, talk about anything else, and give it our rating.
100%.
As a reminder, here on the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast, we do not believe in numbers to talk about our enjoyment of the wine. We believe in the vibes and who we want to hang out with while we're drinking the wine. So our must shares are wines that are exceptionally good bottles of wine that have something extra special that deserve to be shared. Our solid pours are really good wines with really good value. Our casual sippers are enjoyable, but maybe not necessarily memorable. And then anything that's overvalued, low quality, or just plain undrinkable is a waste of your wine. Of course, we all have our coveted wine fridge spots for our favorite 3 bottles of the year. So they're all full for us. So in order to put one in there, we have to take something out.
Man,
that's how we do it.
Competitive right now.
They are indeed. That's how we do it here. So guys, I'm going to turn to you. I'm the host. I'm going to go ahead and go last on this one. Aaron, I'll go to you first. Anything else you want to note? And then tell me where you're putting. Let's do first the Mâcon-Villages and then the Pouilly-Fuissé.
Sure. I mean, this is tricky for sure. One, I've never been a big Chardonnay fan. I gotta be honest with you. So the one big push I love about this show is that it is forcing me to assess outside of what I truly, what my personal preferences are.
Sure.
So for the Mâcon-Villages, I think the Mâcon-Villages is actually a really solid pour for its price range. I think it's $16, man. Like if you are someone, and again, I'm gonna say this real clear. This is an excellent example of a place where you should know the kind of wine you like. If you are a Chardonnay drinker and you like oaked or unoaked, more acidic, less acidic, like that's really important to this. So I think the Mâcon-Villages is a really good solid pour for $16, and that's where I'm going to land if you like unoaked, acidic Chardonnay. And if you are a Savvy B drinker, or you are someone who hasn't loved the super oak Chardonnay in the past, like this is a good one to try because the oakiness isn't there. The Pouilly-Fuissé, man, I'm in a bit of a struggle bus area because at $30, I want it to be a lot better than the Mâcon-Villages. And I actually think it's more of a casual sipper if you like that style of wine. If you liked oak Chardonnay, yeah, it's tasty and it's real, and I think that's important. Like it's a real bottle of wine. It doesn't have this like artificial oakiness to it. But if I had to choose the two for value, like I'd probably go for the Mâcon-Villages because I think it's $16. Like it's a really tight, sharp, bright wine that I really like drinking. But I think they're both very good. I just think bang for the buck. I would go for the Mâcon-Villages.
Sure. Love it. Okay, so you said solid pour for the Mâcon-Villages, for the Pouilly-Fuissé, casual sipper.
Si, senor. That's French.
Colin, it is decidedly not. Colin?
Yeah, I think I'm going to flip the script.
Ooh,
I think
baby.
the Mâcon-Villages is a casual sipper. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's tasty, it's enjoyable, but it's just super casual, right? Like there's nothing here that's necessarily memorable. It's like it's good, and at $16, like sure, why not, right? I'd have this around on a nice hot summer day. You know, it's good, but it's not anything that I'm gonna like write home about. Now, I actually started out with the Pouilly-Fuissé in the casual sipper category, but as this episode has gone on, the oak has really integrated itself into the wine. Like the first sip, I was like, oh man, that's just oaky, almost too much oak. Now it's like it just elevates everything else. Like it's really done a good job of integrating and lifting, and I think the experience on the Pouilly-Fuissé, now that it's had some time to kind of mesh, has brought it from the casual sipper category to a solid pour category. I said classic for both of them, and I think they both are. But like when I think classic French oak Chardonnay, like this kind of nails it, you know. And at $30, I think it does a good job of representing what Burgundian Chardonnay is without breaking the bank. So for me, the Pouilly-Fuissé is a solid pour.
Would you like to see the price point a little bit different?
I mean, maybe a couple bucks cheaper, but like honestly, $29-30 doesn't bother me that much because again, it is, I think, it has really come together in a really enjoyable fashion that's really bumped it up for me.
In my head right now, it's kind of like a matrix of price, experience, enjoyment, taste, all that good stuff. And to me, when you boil it all out, these both are on the same level for their own reasons. And to me, they're both solid pours. Here's why I say that.
This is fun.
Looking at the Mâcon-Villages, this is a $16 bottle of wine. Our solid pours are defined as really good wines with really good value. I mean, that's what this is. This is a good Chardonnay, good unoaked Chardonnay with really good value. The style warrants that it is not as rounded as the Pouilly-Fuissé. Like, it's just not going to be because it's in steel. It's not in oak. That's the way it goes. That's the way that it's made. And then you flip that. Now we're at $30 for that Pouilly-Fuissé. And yeah, it does have a little bit more depth and a little bit more warmth. It's $30 and it warrants that. And like that fits right in there too. So to me, when you look at these, I think they're both really cool examples of what an oaked versus an unoaked Chardonnay from France should be. And what's cool is that they're priced appropriately. Like they're priced exactly where they should be for that experience, in my opinion. So for that matter, when it all comes out in the wash, to me, these are both solid pours. And to the point where, like, I really think anybody who's listening, really cool experiment to go along with us and go get both of these. You're not breaking the bank. You're in for $45 for 2 bottles of wine and a really cool experience in French wine. Like,
well, you know what just happened, Joel? They're both solid pours. That's the average. They're both solid pours.
100%.
Yeah.
I am the through line of it all. Yeah.
you just pulled them both up. Like, well done.
Yeah.
No, but I think what you just said was really important. Like, and I also think, one, try them both, but also if you are an unoaked Chardonnay person, the Mâcon-Villages, give it a shot. If you are an oaked Chardonnay person, the Pouilly-Fuissé is a really good example to try on that side. So, like both the bottles of wine are totally checking the boxes in their categories.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. All right. I love that we're all like kind of in the same area, little discrepancies here and there, but if I could take a look at these ratings and then just look back on the last couple of weeks too, just of everything Louis Jadot, I'm going to say something. I want you to agree or disagree with me, but impressive, right? Like
100%.
Fantastic. 100%. Yep.
Were you guys expecting these to be so?
No.
Just quality, just good.
I was not.
No.
I
Yeah.
found my go-to in a pinch, need a good bottle of wine producer that you can get everywhere, and that's Louis
Yeah.
Jadot, hands down.
Sure.
Like, there's
Totally
no doubt
agree.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And especially when we talk about just wine that you can find anywhere, right?
For
We've all
sure.
had those bottles of wine that we're like, oh, I like that, but it's just, I can't find it. Like,
Yep.
these are bottles of wine that we know are accessible almost everywhere. And for $16 to $30 to know that all of these were really, really good, that's unbeatable.
For sure. Yep. And at the entry point, you know,
100%.
at the entry point, it's all good. Yeah.
100%.
Love it. Love it. Such a fun time. Such a fun, just kind of endeavor into Louis Jadot. I do still think one of these days, let's go deeper into the catalog. Maybe go to the next tier and experience that too, because I think it'd be some pretty exceptional stuff.
Louis
So,
Jadot, send us your $2,000 bottle of wine. We just want to try it out just to compare.
hey,
I know you're
Listen.
saying that kind of jokingly, but big shout out to Louis Jadot for sending this over to us. You know, I don't
yeah, we
so
should
good.
acknowledge
really
you, yeah.
appreciate them sending
Yep,
it
yep,
over. I don't know if I would have tried as many as we had if I had not, but I'm glad we did. So
Yeah.
big thanks to them.
100%.
100%. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. A lot of fun. I think before we head out, maybe let's do a quick game. And I think, Aaron, you might be hosting for the first time one of our favorite new games on this show.
Hell yeah. We're going to play Grape Guesses, which is our fantastic new game that Joel came up with, where I'm going to ask some questions where no one really expects that we're going to know the answers to. But learning the answers will be great for everyone. We're doing close to the pin. You don't have to be right. Just whoever guesses as close, whoever has the grapest guess is going to win this game. So
It's even cuter on this end. Usually I'm on that end, and it sounds so good over here. I love it.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so far, the people have loved it. Let's keep it going. Joel,
Yes.
name a number between 1 and 6.
4.
Colin?
2.
Nope.
3.
Yes. All right. Would you like to go first or second?
I would like to go second.
There you go. See? Whole nother level. Colin, here's your first question.
Bring it on, baby.
Chardonnay is one of the most widely planted wine grapes on the planet. Worldwide, roughly how many acres or hectares, answer whichever way you feel more comfortable with, of Chardonnay vines are currently planted globally?
Globally, man, I have no idea. I'm gonna say 1 million.
It's a great guess. Acres or hectares?
I'm gonna go with hectares.
1 million hectares.
That might be way too
of
much
Chardonnay.
again.
Joel, what do you think?
I'm going to say 2 million hectares.
Ooh, Colin, you win this first round. There are 210,000 hectares,
Oh,
or
my goodness.
520,000 acres of Chardonnay
In the globe?
globally currently planted.
Wow. Okay.
I was trying to do the math in my head. That's why I said 1 million sounded crazy. Like it sounded crazy saying it, but
Apparently
like
I didn't think so.
And wildly, that is number
Double down,
2 of all white wine grapes and number 5 amongst all grapes globally.
Wow.
Wow, learn something new every day.
Fantastic. Question number 2, that gives Colin 1 point. And Joel, you have to go first this time.
Okay.
On average, Joel, how many individual Chardonnay grapes does it take to produce one standard bottle of 750 milliliters of wine? Spoiler alert, it's pretty much the same for every grape, but we're talking about Chardonnay right now. So on average, how
Yes.
many grapes do you need to make a bottle?
I'm gonna say 1,200 grapes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Calm.
Because the number in my mind was 1,250. So
Ooh.
He's doing it again. He's doing the prices right again.
no, that's literally that was the number I settled on as you
Sure.
asked the question.
That's
so
fair.
but I don't like that because it might be like 1,100 and I don't feel comfortable. Now that you went with 1,250, I don't feel
It's
comfortable.
awkward now. Colin, choose.
At 12, it is. I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm going 1,250.
Your gut sucks. It's 600. 600
okay.
grapes. Range
God.
would be 600 to 800 grapes in a bottle of wine. So, Joel, you get the point for that one.
Yes.
You're both 1-1. Next question. Burgundy makes some of the most sought-after white wines in the world. According to global retail data, what is the average market price in American dollars for a bottle of the world's most expensive Chardonnay, Domaine d'Auvergne, Batard, Montrachet, Grand Cru?
I'm going to say $3,000.
That's weird. That's what I was going to say too. So I will go with 3001, Bob.
That price is right. Saved your butt because you're both way off. The range for this bottle of wine is $20,000 to $25,000 at auction. And it's the only place you can only get this because it is a limited bottle.
So they only auction it.
I would, without talking in a level of like certainty, it seems that way.
Wowza.
It's the most expensive Chardonnay on the planet. $20,000 to $25,000 a bottle.
Okay, that's a lot.
Man,
is not the average cost of Chardonnay from the region. It's just this producer.
Yeah.
Okay, Joel 2, Colin 1. It's a close one. Here we go. Out of roughly 130 million cases of white table wine sold annually from the United States, how many million of those cases are Chardonnay? All right, so I've given you a starting point on this one. So out of 130 million cases, how many are Chardonnay?
You want a percentage or a number?
I would like a number, sir.
Okay.
If you give me a percentage, I'm going to change it into a number.
Okay. I'm going to say 130 million.
Out of 130
exported
million.
From the U.S.
How many are Chardonnay?
How many are Chardonnay?
Sold, not exported.
Okay. I'm going to say 42 million.
Yeah, I would imagine it's a little over half. So I'm going to hedge my bet here a little bit. I'm going to go with 60 million.
With his first spot-on answer, Colin White, 60 million cases on the nose. About 46% of all white wines consumed in the United States is Chardonnay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do I get an extra point for hitting it on the nose? I mean,
you do not. No, but you get a warm feeling deep in your gut that isn't just the two white wines that we're drinking. And wildly, and I don't think I would have guessed this, it is the #1 selling white wine ahead of Sauvignon Blanc.
That is,
no,
I guess globally, I see that being the case. People
no, Colin's
more of a taste for that.
But like I would.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Okay, guys, tiebreaker, a tiebreaker that we actually get to use. And this is a fun one. I'm actually excited. This is cool. In the famous 1976 Judgment of Paris blind tasting, California Chateau Montelena Chardonnay shocked the world by beating France's top Grand Cru white Burgundy Chardonnay. When Chateau Montelena released their 1973 Chardonnay to the public, how much do you think a bottle cost?
All right, so we're 1973.
1973.
Adjusting for inflation.
As you do.
And to clarify, we're before the judgment?
Let's just say it's what the cost of the bottle was when they put it on the shelf.
Okay.
Sans, regardless of the judgment.
Okay. Got it.
And based on the state of Napa in the 1970s, I don't know if people knowing that it won a competition in Paris would have mattered.
Sure. I'm going to say $4.
Okay. Joel?
I was in the same kind of realm. I'll say 7.
Wow. You two are super close. By a matter of dollars and cents, Joel has won this round 3-2 because the answer was that bad boy, that world-winning, earth-shattering bottle of wine retailed for $6.50.
Wow.
That's crazy. Man,
That is
the good old
crazy.
days, huh?
Isn't that wild? How suspect
cool.
would a bottle of wine at $6.50 be when we walk into a store right now?
Nowadays, wouldn't even take a look.
Honestly, that's such an important thing to call out too, because everybody, I think if you're a wine fan, you know about the Judgment of Paris and you know about the lore, but you don't ground yourself in the reality of Napa at the time and like how much, like you were saying, nobody gave a shit about it. Like that's wild.
Yeah, guys, pre-internet, right? Like even if it was post Judgment of Paris, like who's reading the New York Times page 4 about the success of this wine? Like it just wild, right? Now obviously maybe $6.50 carried a lot more weight in 1973, but still, like,
sure, not bad.
I
would have picked it up
if you have that bottle in your collection right now. If you have the 1973 Chardonnay, what do you think that's worth today? Like, my goodness,
that's such a good
probably
question.
sell it for a pretty penny.
Yeah, not $6.50.
Nope.
No.
At
least double.
I still think I should have gotten
would say so.
2 points for getting the answer right on.
That's not how the game works, brother.
We can talk about that later.
Hey, fantastic job, both of you. Congratulations to Joel.
Thank you.
Really good guesses, grape guesses, I would say. And we learned a lot today.
Thank you.
We did.
We
All right. So much fun. Thank you. I'm not going to say that like I had a little chip on my shoulder because I invented that game and I really wanted to win the first time that I played it, but I did. So I'm very happy. Thank you. Thank you for running that. That was great. Well done. Love those questions. Very cool.
So much fun.
Learned a lot and just very, very interesting. Very interesting. This whole episode I think has been very interesting, guys. I mean, super fun. I know we've said it, but love that side-by-side. Such a cool way to experience wine. I think we're going to do that a little bit more. And just have to say it one more time to just the fine folks at Louis Jadot. Thank you so much for sending these over. Thanks for the experiences. Really, really cool. Looking forward to getting more into just the other categories, other levels in the portfolio, because this has been really, really, really enjoyable. Speaking of enjoyable and fun, if the listener wants to hang out with us, talk to us, get engaged, Aaron, how would they do that?
Yeah, 100%. First of all, Stop Wasting Your Wine on Instagram. Check us out. We're having a lot of fun there. If you would like to reach out to us directly, cheers at Stop Wasting Your Wine. We'd love to hear from you. We have so many cool folks coming on the show over the next few months and a lot of awesome wine coming our way. If you want to feature your wine, please, we'd love to try it out. And, check out stopwastingwine.com.
Check it out. And thank you so much for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for telling a friend. We'll see you next week. And in the meantime, just remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
And for the first time ever, my shirt isn't black. Bye.
Are you sure?
It looks black to me.
It is a dark shade of burgundy.
Barely.
So in theme. So in theme.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I love that.
It's black.
Love it. So good.
It's not black.